The story of Ezekiel and the Valley of Dry Bones in the 6th century BCE, during the Babylonian exile. The prophet Ezekiel served as God's voice to a broken and hopeless Israel. His people had been conquered, their homeland laid waste, and many were living as captives far from Jerusalem. They felt abandoned, their faith shaken, their hope extinguished like a smoldering flame. It was during this time of despair that God gave Ezekiel a powerful vision, a message of hope and restoration for a people who felt spiritually dead. Ezekiel recounted the vision with vivid detail. The hand of the Lord was upon me, and he brought me out by the Spirit of the Lord and set me in the middle of a valley. It was full of bones. He led me back and forth among them, and I saw a great many bones on the floor of the valley, bones that were very dry. The valley was desolate, filled with dry, lifeless bones scattered across the ground. They were a symbol of Israel's hopelessness, a vivid picture of a nation that felt as though it had died, spiritually and physically. God then spoke to Ezekiel, asking, "Son of man, can these bones live?" Ezekiel, unsure but trusting in God's wisdom, replied, "Sovereign Lord, you alone know." God then instructed Ezekiel, "Prophesy to these bones, and say to them, 'Dry bones, hear the word of the Lord.' This is what the sovereign Lord says to these bones. I will make breath enter you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons to you, and make flesh come upon you, and cover you with skin. I will put breath in you, and you will come to life. Then you will know that I am the Lord." Ezekiel obeyed, standing in the midst of the valley, and proclaiming God's words over the dry bones. As he prophesied, a miraculous sight unfolded before him. The bones began to rattle and move, coming together bone to bone. Tendons and flesh appeared on them, and skin covered them, but there was still no breath in them. Though they looked alive, they were not yet truly living. Then God said to Ezekiel, "Prophesy to the breath. Prophesy, son of man, and say to it, 'This is what the sovereign Lord says. Come, breath, from the four winds, and breathe into these slain, that they may live.'" Ezekiel called upon the breath as God commanded, and the breath of life entered the bodies. They stood up on their feet, a vast army, strong, restored, and alive. The valley that had once been filled with death and despair was now filled with life and hope. God explained the vision to Ezekiel. "These bones are the people of Israel. They say, 'Our bones are dried up, and our hope is gone. We are cut off.' Therefore, prophesy and say to them, 'This is what the sovereign Lord says. My people, I am going to open your graves and bring you up from them. I will bring you back to the land of Israel. Then you, my people, will know that I am the Lord, when I open your graves and bring you up from them. I will put my spirit in you, and you will live, and I will settle you in your own land. Then you will know that I, the Lord, have spoken, and I have done it, declares the Lord." The vision of the Valley of Dry Bones was not only a promise of physical restoration for Israel, but also a powerful metaphor for spiritual renewal. God assured his people that even in their darkest moments, when they felt lifeless and abandoned, he could breathe new life into them. His spirit could restore what seemed beyond repair. This vision gave the exiles a reason to hope again. It reminded them that God's power could overcome even the deepest despair, and that he had not forgotten his covenant with his people. He was still their God, and they were still his people. Ezekiel's prophecy resonates with believers today as a reminder of God's ability to bring life out of death, hope out of despair, and renewal out of ruin. No situation is too hopeless for God to redeem, and his spirit can revive even the driest of bones. The story challenges us to trust in God's promises, even when circumstances seem impossible, and to believe in his power to restore and transform.